Alright, magandang gabi mga kababayan, mga fellow Reds, and not just fellow Reds, no, but also fellow Filipino football fans in of course, here in the Philippines and all over the world. Welcome to another Azkals episode of Pinoy Shot for the Enders. So tonight we have Kent and Kevin in the panel. I think Carl will follow. Mukhang siya yung may date ngayon at hahabol siya. Alright. So,
Tara.
kahit the Premier League's done, but there's a lot of football the past week. We have the Azkals playing, and then we also have the Euro starting. Started yesterday. I think Italy won, right? But less on that and more on our own national team, the Azkals. Unfortunately, is it still a super long shot or wala na talaga in terms of the next round of World Cup
Out na
qualifiers?
tayo.
Wala na
Out na
eh,
tayo.
no? So,
China beat Maldives 5-0 eh. So, they are 16.
So I will get to that. And so we lost to China 2-0, which is pretty respectable in terms of Philippines versus China. And then we won against Guam 3-0. It was up and down performance. I didn't watch the China game. I was too late, but I caught the Guam game. For me, it was kind of an up and down. But I want to hear the thoughts of Kent and Kevin on both games. So Kent, comparing the performances of our team between China and Guam. What are current strengths and what are your areas for opportunity uh, moving forward?
First of all, good evening to all our fellow Pinoy Reds and fellow Pinoy football fans as well. To be honest, yung laro against China, medyo ano yun it's already a respectable result knowing that we didn't really have our full strength lineup. If I think the game would have been better, our performances would have been better if we had the likes of Neil Etheridge, Jared Holtman, Jesper Nyholm right there. Pero ano China is a well-drilled side. They already played the game before we faced them. That was against Guam. They didn't have a league pero matagal na sila nag-start na training camp for this crucial qualifying window. And ang masasabi ko, we didn't really have much time on the ball. China had around 75 to 77% of possession. Kumbaga tayo, pasingit-singit lang tayo ng mga attempts. And every time na we have an attempts, we're just limited. Mabilis din bumaba yung mga Chinese players. We had a couple of good chances pero masasabi ko parang hindi sapat. Yung pace ng forwards natin was really worrying and alarming. Angel Girado, no offense to Angel, he scored against Guam last night pero against China he was really found lacking. While Mark Hartman, he had the best, he was the recipient of our best chances pero wala medyo half-baked yung mga attempts niya. Coming naman sa Guam, medyo nagkaroon na ng amuyan. Ang masasabi ko naman doon, it's really about lack of hold sa game. Hindi natin, if we want to win a game, we need to take it by the hand and just scruff it. Nagkulang tayo doon. There were times na ang lackluster ng atake natin. Walang flow. Ewan ko lang kasi siguro it's really the humidity. Mainit daw doon ngayon sa UAE eh. So, parang bumagal yung pacing ng laro. Good thing that we were able to get 3 goals, pero yung 2 of those goals are from set pieces. So medyo need pa tayo mag-improve sa open play kasi hindi naman every time magkakaroon tayo ng mga set piece eh. And at the same time Guam was well drilled. They were there for the taking. Hindi lang talaga tayo maka-take advantage. Yung final pass wala. Yung mga sa attack natin minsan na lang tayo umatake pero ang bibigat ng mga first touch. I think we really need to improve on that. Pero so far ang bright spot natin is defense. Except for a few errors, I think Jefferson Tabinas made a good account of himself in this debut tour of duty with the Azkals. Kempter was also steady. Carly, medyo affected yung play niya kasi late na siya sumama pero he's fine as well. Yung mga youngsters yung nagpakita ng talagang eagerness to play and eagerness to help the team. Ang ano lang natin siguro offense, yun ang main drawback natin. I think we should have brought two more forwards para may kapalitan si Hartman tsaka si Girado kasi ang worrying talaga ng pace. There are times na pwede na tayo mag-press pero hindi natin nagagawa dahil yung dalawang forwards natin they both lack pace. Hartman is more of a second striker with a specialty in long dead ball situations. So hindi talaga siya more of these predatorial striker. Si Girado, he can score pero you have to hand it on a plate to him. Hindi mo siya asahan mag-press. I just hope that moving forward we will be able to strengthen our forward line. But for now, considering sa mga nangyari ngayon, that's good enough. I can't demand any further. As long as lumalaban sila, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I think with the Guam game, no, as you said, it was there for the taking. Kaso yun nga, after we scored the first goal, beautiful build up from Tabinas to Bias, and then Girado with the clinical strike. After that, parang we gave Guam confidence, basically. We could have scored more, eh. Pero yun nga, points well taken, and I agree that there's a bit of a disjoint. And parang pareho tayo ng problema sa United. We don't have those runners behind the ball. I think the whole game it was Girado and Hartman was always asking for the ball upfield, no?
The
And
angles
then
were wide.
yeah, kumbaga our runners were from Kempter, from Bias, from Gayoso later on. Pero yung sa gitna, no, parang kulang pa tayo eh. Kulang pa tayo sa runners. But before I go on further, I want to greet first our viewers here. So we have Tokayo, Jeff Mariano. Good evening, sir. And our local source currently there in Dubai. Well, I think he's Qatar. But in the Middle East, we have
Ah,
Ram. Good evening. Yeah. Ayan. So later, Ram has a good question. We'll bring it up later. Ikaw, Kevin, kamusta? Anong masabi mo sa performance sa versus China and the performance against Guam?
I think I echo Ken's sentiments nga. But one problem lang talaga is yung depth natin. Hindi ka dapat pumunta sa gyera na wala kang bala. Seriously. And having 21 of the projected 26 and the public backlash to the withdrawals, medyo sabihin natin quite understandable na rin on the part of the players. Nila sa honeymoon. So talagang you have to use whatever you can. So tama nga si Kent, as long as sila yung nagpapatayan sa loob ng field, they deserve all the support. And tama nga siya. Speaking of which na I see those flashpoint at full time when Shrocky looks like still angry kahit nanalo sila ng 3-0 because he knows that we could have done more against this kind of Pero I'll take my hat off to their fighting stand against China na talagang naleche talaga tayo doon sa second half. Naleche talaga tayo sa second half. And also, moving forward, I would like to see an expanded forward line. Please naman. You will not gonna win when only have Angel and Mark Hartman. Have yourself a wild card, please, for goodness sake. Maghanap naman kayo ng element of surprise. As we said nga nung yung preview nga natin, because I would like to see Kike Gomez there, but it's quite understandable that they have to prioritize for the Champions League, which is okay lang. It's fine with me. Pero I hope the PFF and the scouting team of the Azkals could have done this better nung pandemic pa, fixing papers and all of that. Because mga naririnig ko, di ba, getting those passports for those overseas Filipinos takes too long. And ayun nga, parang I'm not sounding off on the absence of Bienve. Huwag nang hanapin ng wala. But getting 3 points in those two matches is not bad at all. Simply because hindi pa tayo ready for the World Cup qualifiers. Hindi pa tayo ready for the World Cup talaga. This cycle. And considering this would be probably our best showing. Nag-improve naman tayo. Russia, and then this one. I see some improvements. Maybe we might get a serious run of it maybe by 2-3 World Cup cycles pata. I hope I'm not wrong, but what we prioritize right now is our second consecutive Asian Cup appearance, which is not bad. Ganun naman talaga eh. So we need to step up that level. And I hope that this year we could break that AFF Championship wall na hanggang semis lang tayo. Hanggang semis lang din yung kit mo. Hanggang semis lang tong kit na to. I hope we could have a final appearance. Por favor naman, we're so ripe of it. And also, we need to expand it. We need to expand our squad. Depth matters in basically everything.
Actually, the tournament format,
locals and overseas players na talagang makikipagpatayan para sa atin. Makikipagpatayan sa 7,100 isla natin. Makikipagpatayan sa tatlong bituin at isang araw. So, yun lang.
tama, no? In the tournament format, depth is very important. Whether it's for rotation for fatigue or backup for injuries, napaka-important. No? And during the previous episode, during our first Azkals episode, the concern was the front line. It was really the front line. And I guess this is just Tokayo's Athenian bias as well as mine that I guess Jarvie, I think we have to try Jarvie up front again. He keeps getting deployed on the left, and I think the issue there is they keep, there's a, kumbaga they overlap with Kempter eh, para pareho silang run. Sayang the run. So, we have Mr. Connolly. Good evening, sir. So his comment is good performance from the Philippines yesterday. A lot of fouls from the Guam team, but we coped very well. Seeing the World Cup in the finals in the near future. It's not far away. Hopefully in our lifetime, I mean, Kevin, bata pa tayo kahit paano. Hopefully in our lifetime, we can at least that round of 64 kahit matambakan tayo, okay lang, di ba? Basta nandun tayo sa kasi expanded na, di ba? I think it's expanded round of 64, right? Yep. So
64? Akala ko 48 by 20.
48 lang pala.
48 lang. Akala ko 48 and then
pero 10 Asian slots.
Alam mo, if we could get there, my gulay. Mapupuno yang any US stadium yan kasi ang dami nating Pinoy, especially sa LA area. Sana yun yung dream draw, kumbaga, di ba? Rose Bowl po, Pinoy. Holy crap, that's a dream.
All right, and Ram, I mean, yeah, you're right. We are focusing on the Asian Cup direct slot, and that is a realistic goal for us, and we should focus on that because World Cup is just too far for now, I think. But I want to get to his question earlier, directly or originally directed to Kent, no? If BNV was included, it's theoretical, as Kevin said, huwag na hanapin yung wala. But if BNV was included, does he fit that fast paced ball movement that we are trying to implement, especially in the last Guam game? What's your take on that, Ken?
First of all, si BNV kasi, he's a very versatile forward. He can play as pero his strengths lies on the wing. But you can play him as a center forward like what Patrick Reichelt does. Sa tingin ko with yung experience niya playing with Stefan Schrock with the other yung former Ceres players and United City players right now, sa tingin ko magiging big help siya eh. Si BNB kasi is very tactically malleable. You can play him as a center forward, winger, wide midfielder, second striker. So sa tingin ko makakatulong sana siya to ease pressure on Schrock and Reichelt. Kung napapansin nyo the past few days Boss Jeff, yung predictable yung sa Guam, pag alam na nila na pag si Stefan Schrock yung maghahatid ng bola, pinapaligiran na kagad nila. Same with China. Yes. I think Bienve can help ease off the pressure from Shrek na pwede siyang bumaba tapos siya yung magdala ng bola so that he can free up Shrek. Kasi nangyayari parang napapagod masyado si Shrek eh. So kailangan natin baga si Bienve yung mag-a-attract nung defenders at the same time mas unpredictable yung attack natin. Kasi ang dami nating magiging options na mag-open up kasi either bantayan mo si Bienve or si Shrek. So, saan pupunta yung depensa nun? So, mas magiging unpredictable tayo. And Bienve can pass as well. Pero more on si Bienve kasi, yung finishing niya napaka-versatile din. Free kick, outside of the box, mga mabilisang tira. Sa tingin ko mas makakatulong sana siya. Pero well, we need to play with the cards we're dealt with, and maybe hopefully we can see him sooner in Azkals jersey.
All right, so we welcome Carl to the panel.
Hello.
Welcome, Carl. Oh,
Hello, hello.
Mag-partner nga kayo, Carl.
Kumuha pa ng jersey. Kumuha pa ng jersey, Carl.
Carl, mag-partner nga kayo. Yan yung away kit, sa kanya yung home.
Oo nga. Oo nga.
So Ken Ramses, good observations. Yeah, I think tama no when they know Shrek is our best midfielder, and I guess he would be more effective when he's in the part of the 10. He's now an 8 or a 6 minsan eh, diba? He goes deep, gets the ball from the defenders. But I hope Tabinas kind of pushes forward so that's lessened, you know. And I don't know. Do you think Bias can help out in terms of kung sila ni Shocking roaming 10s? Because Bias made a good account of himself then yesterday. He made a good run. He had a good handle of the ball. Very smart. I mean, you can see the world.
Actually, to the goal of Angel eh. Siya ata yung final ball to Angel in the box.
You can see those players who have good experience from the foreign leagues. Tabinas to Bias, alam nila yung takbo ng bola, alam nila kung saan yung through ball. But ikaw, Carl, isasalta na kita agad. So Kent said, Shrocky, we're over-dependent on Shrocky. And I also observed that during one of the free kicks, he was breathing heavily. Sobrang pagod na, di ba? Ikaw, Carl, who do you think can help out Shrocky in the middle of the field? Is it Winhofer? Is it Bias? Is it Hartman dropping back? Ikaw, sino?
Siguro sa akin si Hartman. Si Hartman yung may physicality and yung mga long balls niya eh. Siya yung talaga technically proficient na kayang tumulong kay Shrocky na parang si Shrocky runner. Si Hartman yung yung parang United comparison, Michael Carrick. Siya yung long ball dito, left, right, center, ganon. Siya yung mag-ease off sa pressure. Tapos si Shrock yung hahabol dun sa mga, kung may second balls, si Shrock talaga yung habol. So I think Hartman talaga eh. Since yung midfield natin, puro si DMs eh, yung napapansin ko. Or Cam sila, Ott brothers, medyo parang Cam or CM sila, medyo light. So maganda kay Hartman. Solid siya eh. Malaki yung katawan niya. Pwede talaga siyang center midfield na hindi siya mababypass agad ng malalaking players. Pero yun nga lang, medyo mabagal. Pero at least the technical skills, mautak din naman siya.
Would Ingreso would have helped in terms of solidifying that midfield? Ikaw, Kevin, tingin mo. Would the likes of Ingreso have helped, or would someone else in the current lineup could have helped out Shrocky in easing off of the defensive pressure of him?
We could have used Ingreso nung China game eh. We could have had Ingreso in the China game. Siya yung parang sabihin natin de facto third CB. Kasi talagang mahirap alam mo yung parang you have to defend in numbers when you go against that quality team eh. So ayun nga yung nagiging we could have had that kind of a set, parang a holding mid that could go on a 4-4-2 diamond when an attack and a 5-3-2 pag defend. Siya yung plugs doon, siya yung gap doon siya yung mag-fill ng gap between the two CBs doon, formation-wise.
Yeah, we have a couple of good comments shouting out on Oliver Bias. Kasi Oliver Bias ang basa natin, pero Bias pala siya during the... So imagine Sato and then Bias. Actually,
yeah. Tama.
Kempter was pretty good as a left wing back. I liked his runs a lot. Um, actually, frustration ko sa Azkals, where para tayong United na overloaded on the left with all these left-footed guys who are, I don't know, sino ba yung nasa kanan natin? And then we keep plugging in some people at the left back pa rin. Kuwari, si Jarvie, left back pa rin. Parang, bakit naman, di ba? Yes, good. Kent, good shout on Shaws. Yeah, we could have used Shaws. So yeah, moving forward, how do you like this version of the Azkals? I mean, um, theoretically, if we had the complete lineup that we originally had in mind, if the 26 or the 26 of the call-ups were there, how do you feel about this Azkals side compared to our previous iterations? Ken.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat any words here. If we had a complete lineup, we could have beaten China.
Yes.
Imagine we have Neil Etheridge on goal, then we have Jefferson Tabinas on the on left back, then we have
Nihon.
Kempter or Niholm on defense. Then right back natin, Jesse Curan. Then we have a midfield of Patrick Stross. Patrick Stross is really good at DM. So I think he can play as DM for us. Siya yung box-to-box player that can ease the pressure of Sharky. Then we have Ingreso. Then sa attack, sobrang daming choices natin sa attack, dun tayo di short eh. We could have had ito yung nagkikrave ako, yung Ian Schrack as Cam. Then you have Holtman on the left, Obermeier on the right, Maranyon in the front. Then you can have Ian Ramsey coming off the bench, or pwedeng relief mo dun sa either si Reichelt and si Ramsey would come off the bench to be a relief to either wingers. That would be a wet dream for Azkals supporters. Pero so yun, seryoso, that lineup would cause a lot of problems for even the top nations. Sobrang solid nun. Basta magkaroon lang din ng chemistry. Current roster though, itong current roster, it ain't bad. Kinailangan lang siguro ng longer preparation. Talagang pansin mo dun nandun na yung quality, nandun na yung nila magaling sila mag-handle ng bola, kaso nga lang, again, nothing beats proper preparation. If we had only started training camp, siguro we had 2 weeks more na training camp compared to the one that we had, yung medyo na lang practice lang sa Qatar. Mas madali sana. Pero I'm liking the prospects of this new roster. I hope maayos na lahat ng documentary hurdles. And hopefully, ang next window is August. So maybe we can see them in full force in August or September. We'll never know. But it's gonna be, it's just, it's fun times. Yun ang masasabi ko. It's good times. It's exciting times. I just hope that we, Coach Scott Cooper and the staff would give them all a fair chance to prove themselves, and we can find our best lineup, and we're gonna shock the region and the continent.
Actually, kita mo yung importance ng preseason, no? Like, you see it now, and then you see it in the United squad last season. You see the importance of preseason na, yeah, it's not competitive games and you might get injured, but it's so important that you get that chemistry going on. I mean, kumbaga, kailangan mong gisahin ng konti, no? Sa bawang at sa sibuyas bago mo lutuin ng tuluyan, di ba?
And the long balls came back. Okay lang ako sa long balls pero
oo nga, parang what?
Pero again,
unpredictable kasi.
The use of long balls just proves na may lack of chemistry pa. I can't blame them for that. Yeah, anyway, but we could have done better.
Parang hit and hope na lang tayo padalas.
The chemistry down the left was pretty amazing given the circumstances, you know. Sige Kevin, ikaw, how do you like this current version of the Azkals?
Actually, this is not the full squad that we would see. Tama ka si Kente. Yung lahat ng dream squad niya, on the bench, I would put Sato and Amani just to provoke the opposing team's leading attacker. We could have them both para asawahin si Wu Lei doon on that China game. And then, wag mo na silang palaruin on the next game. At least yung parang specific people for specific actions, kumbaga. Kumbaga sa basketball, Parang gawin mong 2002 Ateneo na ang designated contest stopper mo si Andrew Cruz. Boss Jeff, alam mo yan. So, yun.
Yung tipong may tagabasag lang talaga sa ano, no? Sa
Oh,
lineup. Parang Park Ji-sung lang against Pirlo.
yun nga, parang yun nga yung ano doon. Parang at least, yung kumbaga sa back then Ateneo's old squad, yung Paul Tanchi mo yung press breaker, tapos ang contest stopper mo si Andrew Cruz. Pero yun nga, at least, I would like to have Sato and Aguinaldo na pang ano lang, pang asar, pang provoke. Tama nga si Kente, yung parang wala kang gagawin dito, yung parang mapapamura ka na lang na welcome to hell, tut tut. Parang ganon. But yeah, at least just to throw them off mentally, the international game is not just about it's not just about depth and speed. It's more than just mind games. Ito yung pinaka ultimate level of trash talk whose country is better. Yung parang lahat ng bala dadalhin mo na doon sa giyera. So wala ka dapat iiwanan na But then again, I really like to see the depth talaga. Ang lalim lang ng paghuhugutan natin. I'm not sure kung August or September pa yung start ng Asian Cup Qualifiers, but we can mix and match depending on the opponent kasi at least we would want to save those big guns for 2023. We all knew the disappointment of 2019 na hindi natin nakita si Neil doon na sobrang horror show ng ginawa ni Foxguard on the last 2 games. Sorry for this, pero talagang yun yung nakita ko, sobrang horror show si Foxguard talaga eh.
Yeah. I think Shipman was pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, I agree.
Given, sabi nga ni Ram, no, as a team, we've improved a lot despite the lack of preparation. I can't remember Neil's style of play. He's not as comfortable on the ball as Shipman is, I think.
Imposing kasi siya eh. He's 6'4" eh. His physicality would bode well with us eh. Yun yung matangkat na goalkeeper talaga eh.
How about you, Carl? Since we have this current lineup, we have Shipman on goal. We could have had Etheridge, but how are you liking this version of the Azkals?
I think it's promising na mix of youth and experience talaga. May parang passing of the torch or the guard dun sa defense, di ba? Si Silva, 37 na yun, 38. Nandiyan si Tabinas, 22. Si Bas, 20. So, I think we should be optimistic na may transition period na. Kasi di ba nung dati, nung after Gear, Borromeo, Wani Guerrado, nahirapan tayong maghanap eh. Si Amani lang yung medyo natira doon. Pero talaga, siya lang yung parang option nun eh. Wala na halos na iba. Napipilitan pa nga tayong paglaruin si Wani na 35-36 nung sa last na World Cup Qualifiers 2018. Nasa 2018. So I think it's promising na tapos sa sa wing backs din, promising si Kempter. Ang aggressive niya. Miski yung nakita ko sa comments din sa live stream, grabe daw talaga yung lungs ng bata, up and down. Tapos kahit may broken nose, laban, which is very good na makikita mo hindi siya yung parang sinasabi ng iba na porket half-blood lang, siya daw kaya lang siya nakapaglaro kasi gano'n. Meron naman daw Pinoy na mas better. Pero pinakita niya doon yung puso niya talaga na up and down. Wala siyang kapaguran. Tinatamaan siya sa kahit na anong parte ng katawan niya. Lumalaban pa rin siya.
Basag na nga yung ilong niya eh.
Kaya nga, tinatanggal pa yung
ilong ni Kempter eh. Tapos,
ayaw niya mag-mask actually. Ayaw mask eh. There's a point in the game where he moved it. Pero parang
kaya nga I would
pinabalik sa kanya, no?
Sorry Boss Jeff to interrupt but I really like this mentality natin sa Azkals na despite all the hate coming from our sa mga kapwa Pinoy dyan na sobrang double standards kumbaga, I'm going angry man mode na rito because of the double standards Kung makapaglait sila ng mga overseas Pinoy players na produkto ng diaspora, tapos todo saya pa sila kay Ange Kwame, no hate on Angelo, pero I'm sounding off on those Pinoys na nandito na sobra akong makapagtalangka against sa mga overseas Pinoys na mas pinakita pa nila yung pagiging Pinoy nila kaysa sa kanila eh. I really like it. I really like yung coach ni Jeff. I really like yung coach ni Jeff Tabinas. I would like to know him more soon. The way na Justin Bass endears to us nung SEA Games against Malaysia, that should be the benchmark on how to play as a Filipino. Patay kung patay lang kung laban hanggang sa huling pito.
Nice. Actually, just to comment on Justin Bass, no, he had an instant impact, if I'm not mistaken, when he came on yesterday. So that's good news. He's another kumbaga versatile utility guy that we could use moving forward. Okay, just to wrap up this Azkals part, no. Kasi most of the fans saw Jefferson Tabinas play for the first time. So, what can be improved? And is he come on, our foundation for the future iterations of Azkals? Let's start with you, Ken.
I can say na na parang iba't iba kasi ng upbringing ang mga players na pumapasok sa national team. Baga si Jeff Tabinas before he entered the national team, he already had a taste of top flight Japanese football.
Yeah.
Remember, naglaro na siya sa finals nung All Japan
J1.
high school tournament. Naglaro na siya doon. Yun yung high school game na football sa
Okay.
Japan na pinapanood ng libo-libong tao on live TV. Then he played for Kawasaki Frontale. Then he was loaned to another J1 league side. And nandito siya ngayon sa J2 with Mito Halihak, who is also performing well. Ang masasabi ko, ang nakakahanga kay Tabinas, not only his technical skill, yung yung puso niya para maglaro. Kumbaga, in-interview nga siya na parang ang tawag doon, yung sinabi niya na he searched Wulei's highlights and style of play sa YouTube. Tapos sabi niya, Wulei is better, but not today. Yun ang sinabi niya. Kumbaga, pinakita niya rin yun doon sa laban versus China na he was always 2 steps ahead of Wulei, na talagang hindi niya binigyan ng si Wulei. Pero, again, he can't do it alone. For me.
That's right.
He can kailangan niya ng rest back at ng tulong. Pero kung sa benchmark, his opening tour of duty disqualifiers is really a benchmark. I can rarely remember a player that made an instant impact bigla sa Azkals nung kakalaro pa lang niya. Siguro si Javier Patiño. Yun.
Yeah.
Yun instant
That's
impact
Challenge
yun.
Cup Qualifiers
Oo,
yun.
That's right.
And it only proves the quality of a player. Pero kay Jefferson Tabinas kasi di naman siya naglaro sa Spain. Pero kita mo yung commitment niya na maglaro at yung yung passion niya maglaro kasi yun nga hindi lang bata, excited din siya maglaro. Hopefully your other field foreign talents and other homegrown talents can take heart from this. Na hindi naman imposible, di mo naman kailangan maging si Jefferson Tabinas talaga para maglaro sa national team. Kailangan lang talaga sipag sa training, huwag ka matakot na umalis ng bansa to pursue better playing opportunities.
Hello,
Always
PBA.
aim to be the
Hello,
aim to be the best. Kumaga si Jefferson Tabinas example lang, pero again, hindi naman niya hawak yung ng iba But I hope na ma-inspire niya itong next generation of footballers, itong Filipino footballers, na ito yung dapat nating gawin moving forward. I just pray na maraming makapick up nun.
That's right. Oh, iba ko lang yung tanong because we have a question here from Mr. Connolly. Kevin, I'd like you to get this one. Will Scott Cooper continue on or be replaced? I
think
like
he
him, but I would like to see someone more qualified to role myself. How about you? How
This
about
is
you, Kevin?
I think
Ano tingin mo
I
kay
think-
Coach Cooper?
I think he would have to get a run on the Asian Cup Qualifiers before we talk about having a new manager or extending him, because who knows? I just only read the news. I just only read about our former manager back then is Goran Milojevic. Goran Milojevic, the Serbian, who had masterminded that 2 best games ever, that SEA Games upset of Malaysia and that 0-0 draw against China. Actually looks like he already went back home to Serbia and managed a Serbian top flight team. Remember, his brother was once the gaffer of Red Star Belgrade, but he left ata by January, and that club is actually relegated to the Serbian First League. So yun nga, but I think Mr. Cooper already got his license. He's got his proper license. The proper papers kasi. Because iba yung parang I'm not sure pa kung merong equivalency tests ang UEFA sa AFC with regards to that. But I think he might continue for now until we get sabihin natin antayin natin matapos tong pandemyang to before we dream of anything else, like parang we might dream of Eddie Howe, or someone would say like
Eddie Howe.
Mark Wilmots.
Wow,
Eddie
Eddie Howe agad, no? Ikaw, Carl,
alam mo yan, you know that.
In my opinion, Scott Cooper is a better national technical director than a head coach.
Yeah,
Ang reply ko kasi parang si Ole, no?
Ang naalala ko na example dyan, si Jurgen Klinsmann when he was appointed as the head coach and technical director of USA Soccer. He was very instrumental in seeing the American diaspora of footballers coming into Europe na parang if you don't play in Europe, you don't have the rights to play for the national team. He pushed the young players to go out and discover things and be the best. So tingin ko ganun din yung kay Scott Cooper, kaya 'di ba si Harvey Gayos and Mardiano are heading to Thailand. And he's pushing other ADT players as well to head to other Southeast Asian leagues to test themselves and improve their football experience. Kaso nga lang sa tactics talaga, I'm not complaining with Cooper's tactics. It's good. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt na itong roster na to hindi lang naaamoy yung tactics na gusto niya mangyari kasi nga kulang-kulang at wala masyadong matinong preparasyon. Pero para sa akin, Cooper knows a lot about football, yung big picture, how to manage the program. And if there's a better coach that can replace him, na rin kasi Boss Jeff, pera-pera na lang din sa managers. Medyo mahirap yan Oo. So, if we can find a better coach than him that can work with him, hopefully if you want
with our budget,
within budget. Syempre Pilipinas to, medyo yung funding sa football. Pero if we can find that coach that is willing to coach,
pa rin yan.
Oo. Kailangan gawin. I think we can find a better coach. Kaya tama si Mr. Connolly. For me, my point siya. Pero again, let's cut him some slack. Let's let him do his work first, then we can judge after that.
Ay, teka nga
How about you, Carl?
Sorry,
wait, si Carl naman. Si Carl naman. Di ba siya napagsalita? Carl, ikaw.
I think he should be promoted to technical director or yung under 23 gaffer, so we could develop the pathway through the senior team. Then maybe we could get someone like yung Vietnam Park Hang-seo ba yun? Part of the 2002 South Korean team which finished in the semifinals of the World Cup. Someone like that na has the experience, the know-how to develop, churn the program, so that we could have a distinct play style. We should really develop that, be it 3 at the back, 4 at the back, gegen press, whatever it is, so that we have something that will attach us to Filipinos that hindi pa naman nila fully gusto yung football, pero alam nila ito pag naglaro at ito ang Pilipinas, ang Azkals, aattack, lalaban at lalaban hanggang sa huli. Hindi yan magpapatalo na lang basta-basta. Parang ganun.
Alright. Okay, Kevin, ikaw, anong last say mo about kay Coach Cooper?
Yan nga yung sinabi ko, let's give them the time na lang to do whatever he has to do. And also, Kent, with the backing of Chooks to go, hindi to shameless plug, but with Ronald Mascareñas on board, I hope Mr. Mascareñas would be helping not just the Azkals but also the entire Football Federation na rin. We definitely need parang corporate tie-up, much like SBP with the Smart and the MVP group. The parang, I think, Mr. Mascareñas, for goodness sake, parang forget about basketball naman, please. Kasi nababastos na siya dyan eh. But,
ayan.
Libre nga mga, we could have Eddie Howe, we could have...
Eddie Howe talaga yung inaano mo.
Roy Hudson, retired na eh. But, I would like to say, tama nga yung sinabi ni Carl, Park Hang-seo is the deputy of Goose Hiddink. That Goose Hiddink. Libre naman mangarap. But yeah, I would like to...
Ghost Hiddink was the, yung sa Korea nung 2002. Tama, I remember now.
Yeah.
Mr. Gamboa, he had a comment on the game. Yes, I agree. We're trying to play wide, always on the left. There was one play that I commented on the chat. We should have gone wide right. I forget what play that was. It was a counterattack, but then again, as Ram said, give him
Bibigat ang
backing.
first touch.
Grabe. So, I mean, you can see the first touch difference of Tabinas and Bias compared to like Jarvie Gayo. So, like, sobrang grabe. Layo. Sobrang layo. Then again, si Jarvie bumawi with the shoulder. Pero wala eh. Payat pa siya masyado. Yeah, Ram says, give him backing. There's a Suzuki Cup to prove himself. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Yeah, no problem. NCG final appeal to the Azkals FB page moderator. Post the scorer, and the time the goal was scored. Medyo standard na yan sa football, sir.
Ingo.
Yan lang
Yan yung kinakarantig. Pero...
Yun lang ang aming request. But, ito, before I close out, there's another breaking news about Philippine sports. Not football, but tennis. Alex Ayala wins another Grand Slam.
Woo!
Doubles. Yeah? Girls doubles with her Russian partner, Oksana. Okay, mahaba yung apelido niya. Si Oksana. Medyo mahaba yung apelido niya.
Congrats kay Alex Ayala and also kay Yuka Saso a few days ago.
Yuka Saso, yes.
Congrats.
The first Filipino to win a golf Grand Slam. Like, amazing. Well, it's a proud day for Philippine sports. Happy Independence Day, Ken, Carl, Kevin. Thank you for joining me.
Pasama po sa Budol Run sa Monday, please. Pasama po sa Budol Run sa Monday, please.
Kaya mo na i-bike yan. Thank you to all our viewers who joined us. Mr. Connolly, Sam, Mart, Ram, G, Tokayo, Jeff. Sino ba? Did I miss anyone? Yeah.
Paring Ginaran.
Yeah. All right. So, happy Independence Day, guys. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat. Till the next game, hope we, tambakan natin si Maldives. Please lang.
Shoutout sa teammate ko sa college yan, si Sam Gamboa nag-comment. Yeah.
Okay.
Pilipinas malupit.
All right. Pilipinas malupit. Good night, guys.
Night.